I'll try to get the play in the video. Oops. Yeah, see how much that's moving? That's what's causing our noise right there. Got a 2008 Lexus ES350 in the shop today for a water pump replacement. So let's get into this. So here's the new pump. Got a Ison brand, it's OEM. It's gonna be going in. The pump is kind of squeezed in down there. So it's gonna be interesting getting this out. I've never actually done one of these, but the pulley has some play and it's kind of making noise when it's cold. Here we got a better view of the pump. Starts over here and runs all the way up here and then to the top there where the hose goes in. So yeah, there is quite a lot of components to remove, so no wonder it calls for 4 hours. On these pulleys that bolt straight to the pumps, I'll usually try to break the bolts loose by keeping the belt on, keeping tension on the belt. But sometimes that doesn't work and you have to hold the pulley with some kind of tool. On some of these Toyota Serpentine belt tensioners, they have this small hole that you can shove an Allen key into and it holds it so that there's no tension on the belt. Left-hand thread. A lot of the time you won't have clearance to remove this pulley until you remove the right side motor mount, lift the motor with the jack. On stubborn bolts like this, I'll keep my hand open while I'm trying to break it loose so that I don't smack my knuckles into something when it finally does break loose. And here I dropped the ratchet because I actually had the wrong socket combo on here. I should have been using the semi-deep, which is what I'm using right here, and it just fits on the head of the bolt way better. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just the right combination of tools to make the job so much easier. Okay, well, getting this side bracket off was a pain. Had to loosen the right motor mount and then jack the car up and get it in the perfect position where I could weasel this thing out. You can't really see it in the video, but there's like a 3/4 inch size coolant hose back here, which is what I'm working on. I'm taking the clamp off, and then I use my hose clamp pliers to just walk it off partially, and then when I remove this bracket, I fully remove it. So here I start to slowly loosen all of these bolts for the water pump so that it drains slowly out of the side here. It doesn't make a gigantic mess everywhere. Alright, well, that wasn't too bad once I got this bracket off, but this thing has some play here, which shouldn't. The other one doesn't have any play at all, and got a little leak forming. So that's it. We're gonna start putting a new one back together. So as you can kind of see here, I'm using two 10mm bolts to hold that gasket in place while I position the water pump, and I just started by hand and everything should be all lined up. I know in a lot of my videos I don't really use a torque wrench for a lot of these bolts, but in my defense I have probably tightened hundreds of thousands of bolts, so I just kind of know from experience like what's tight and what's like about to strip or what's perfect. But if you're new to this, I recommend highly using a torque wrench, and eventually you just from experience know like how tight a bolt is. So there is actually a special tool for tightening these pulleys on like this, but I found this method works, and then I don't have to run to the toolbox to find the tool because it's never in the place where you left it, and this just gets the job done if you can just position these wrenches just right. So if you've made it this far, you're one of my super fans. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. I post videos every week, mostly technical content, every now and then a vlog style video. And yeah, I'd love to see you back. Thanks. Okay, got this thing mostly back together. Once I figured out how this thing came out, it went back in really easy. All we got to do now is put the crank pulley back on. There's a couple little roller bearings that need to go back on, and then the belt goes on. Then we fill her up with coolant and we bleed the system, and then it's done. routing these really long serpentine belts could be a huge pain. Sometimes it helps to take a picture of it before you remove it, just so you remember exactly how it went on. Unless you have the service information, which shows you exactly how it goes on. But I put the whole process here just so you can see that it is not easy to route this thing over all these pulleys. But I will say, Toyota makes it easier with this little Allen key trick that they give you. So whenever I do these types of jobs, I always monitor the upper and lower radiator hoses just to make sure that this cooling system is working and bleeding properly. And always take note of if the thermostat is opening and when it opens. And then I will also wait for the cooling fan to turn on. And this is all just really smart practice to minimize comebacks so that there's no air pockets in the system and it doesn't overheat in the future. And here you can see the thermostat is open. And we've got the cooling fan now. Alright, well, thanks for joining me on another repair. Got another one down. We changed the torque mount and put a new serpentine belt on as well. It's not making the noise it was making earlier. It was like a knocking noise, intermittent. So, this is another successful fix. Thanks for watching.